introduction about FinnFit. So we have a specialization in financial life planning, wealth management. Over 3,000 families have trusted us with their hard-earned money. We have a process, which is a FinnFit process, which is extremely unique and different. So we are not product sellers, or we don't have any investment plan, which we come and we explain to you. We are very keen to understand who are you, how many members in your family, what is your family income, expenses, what are your financial goals, what kind of asset allocation you have. We are very much detailed about whether your wealth is in real estate, is it in fixed income, is it in equity, or is it in debt. So we do a complete analysis of your asset allocation. And then once we have understood your financial health in depth, we've understood your investing pattern, whether you are investing individually, jointly, do you have a will or not, what if something happens, can all your wealth be transferred to the next generation in a very smooth way, what have you done in risk management. Okay, so a very 360-degree kind of an approach. After that, we will give you a customized portfolio. And for like more than a decade and a half, our track record has been that our portfolios, post all expenses and fees, they generate substantial alpha over whatever benchmark we've suggested to you. And I can very proudly say that none of our investors have ever lost money in any kind of recommendation or instruments when they have been with FinnFit. So this is how a lot of you all have trusted us over the last decade and a half. Moving on. So I've been meeting a lot of investors in the last 2 decades. And a lot of time people tell me, I don't want to tell it very clearly, par rokda nu su karu? What should I do? Cash ka kya karu? Okay, so across the board, whether it is a businessman, whether it is like a medical professional, or an SME, or a trading kind of a lot of people say that we have cash, or we are generating cash. What should I do about it? So let me tell you with data that how much having any kind of cash, is harmful to you. So we did a small data-backed analysis. Say, for example, you've earned 100 rupees. Okay, take the cursor. It's year 0. Say this year you earn 100 rupees. Okay, you do not pay tax on that. वो cash में पड़ा है. What do you do with that cash money? You either give it to someone in your friends, family, someone trusted, and you say कि मुझे ब्याज देना. ओके, तो मुझे इंटरेस्ट दे दो. तो कैश के पैसे पे 9%, 8%, 10%, अप्रोक्सीमेट इंटरेस्ट यू गेट. नहीं तो दूसरी चीज लोग क्या करते हैं, दे गिव इट टू बिल्डर्स. ओके, एंड देन अगेन दे अर्न इंटरेस्ट ऑन दैट मनी. और सम पीपल will invest that money in real estate, thinking that they will get a very high return, but rental yields in Mumbai, Ahmedabad, or a lot of places across India, अगर मेरी 1 करोड़ की प्रॉपर्टी है, तो जो मुझे रेंट मिलता है, that is say 15-20,000 a month on a 1 crore property. So I'm getting a rental yield of 2 to 3%. On that, I pay income tax at my tax slab. Then I pay property tax. Then I pay other, maintenance and other things. So जो yield मिलती है 1 crore की property पे, it is too low. Okay, I've assumed that this cash money is generating very high income. The third thing which people do, they buy gold. And gold also in the last 20 to 30 years has given a compounding return of 9%. So I've taken one example. There is one person like a doctor or a businessman who earns 100 rupees and he decides, I don't want to pay tax. And now that 100 rupees he's circulating, in different ways. He put something in real estate, he put something in gold, he lended that money to someone. And in the last 25 years, he earned 9% return. Now I'm telling you 9% is very high, but I've assumed if he makes 9% return, then what happens? Now I've taken another person, जो टैक्स के बारे में ज्यादा वरी नहीं करते, उनको रात को शांति से सोना है. So he pays 33% tax. He's in the highest tax slab. He pays 33% tax. 67 rupees is left with him. Now that 67 is white money. He can do whatever he wants to do. He can put that money in his business. He can put that money in the stock market in equity, or he can, invest that money anywhere. Say if that money he puts in the equity market, and equity market in the last 30 years has generated a return of 15%. Now just see what happens. Okay, year 1, year 3, so year 10, 15, can you just scroll down? So if you see, जो 100 रुपए पे उन्होंने टैक्स नहीं भरा है वो 9% से बढ़ता है. ओके, ईयर 7 तक वो 183 होता है, ईयर 25 तक वो कंपाउंडिंग होके 862 होता है. ओके, बट is this 862 rupees of any use? He has to keep hiding that 862 rupees because it is black. Okay, he didn't pay tax on the 100 rupees. तो आज 33 rupees टैक्स बचाने के लिए आप फ्यूचर का 800 रुपए पूरा ब्लैक कर रहे हो. नाउ लुक एट द अदर पर्सन जिन्होंने वो 33% टैक्स भर दिया, तो 100 रुपीज पे ही पेड 33 रुपीज. नाउ ही इज लेफ्ट विद 67. Now that 67 rupees he is investing in a mutual fund जिसकी compounding return 15% है. Just see what happens at 25 years. At 25 years, that 67 rupees compounding at 15%, it becomes 2,200 rupees. And that 2,200 rupees is green. It is white ka money. Okay. So I will tell you all that we feel कि हम tax बचा रहे हैं. हम tax बचाने में हमारा नुकसान कर रहे हैं. So one advice which we have always been giving to everybody who has attended our physical seminars, our webinars, or when we actually study the financial lives of the people, we first tell him, don't get worried about paying taxes. कुछ भी रोकड़ा, कुछ भी वो सब उसको यहाँ देना, वहां देना, just do away with all this. Don't get worried. जो 33 rupees टैक्स भर के पैसे बचते हैं, उसको अगर आपने अच्छे से इन्वेस्ट किया, तो go to this year 7. ओके, इन ईयर 7 आपने जो 100 रुपए पे टैक्स नहीं भरा, एट 9% कंपाउंडिंग इट इज 183. बट आपने 100 रुपए पे 33 टैक्स भर दिया. वॉट एवर 67 इज लेफ्ट, इफ इट इज कंपाउंडिंग एट 15%, then at the end of the 7 years it is 178 rupees. So the post tax paid money will take 7 years to overtake the money on which you did not pay tax. And at the end of 25 years, मतलब उसके बाद आप अपना इतना नुकसान कर रहे हो by keeping that money in cash and not paying tax on it. Or just let me tell you, this is not any kind of advice. This entire session is educational session. So please take it as education. And if you have any queries, you can consult your financial advisor, or you can also officially consult us. Right now, it is not any consulting or any advising. It is just a pure education session. So one educational message which we want to give, that don't fall in that trap कि भाई मुझे टैक्स नहीं भरना है. ओके, पे द टैक्स. पैसे को वाइट करो, उसको अच्छे से इन्वेस्ट करो. 7 साल में that money will overtake the money on which you have not paid tax. You can sleep peacefully. Everything is on paper. There is no worry of anything. And at the end of 15, 20 years, your money will be double, triple of the money on which you did not pay tax. So with this, I kickstart today's session कि भाई टैक्स भरना है. Okay, tax planning is not tax evasion. Okay, so tax planning करना है. टैक्स को like डर के नहीं भरना है या कैश में पैसे रखना है. That is not what we are supposed to do. So today's session, we will be discussing one tool which will help you to plan taxes, not evade taxes. Okay, so with this, I've also inviting CA Jayant Furia. Like I said, he has more than 3 decades of experience as a chartered accountant. He has good expertise in commercial laws, accounting, strategic tax planning. Like he will look at all tax files in your family. He'll look at what income the family is getting, what expenses, and then help you plan, in individual files ke how you're supposed to really plan your income so that हम tax उतना ही भरे या कम भरे पर हम white का return ज़्यादा file करें. That is what is his expertise over the last 2-3 decades. Apart from that, he's been CFO in a lot of large companies and a couple of listed companies. And now he is with FinnFit as a chartered accountant who helps a lot of our clients with tax restructuring and all. So we'll begin with this topic of HUF and how HUF is one of the tools through which you can do your tax structuring or tax planning. So today's webinar, we'll talk about what is an HUF, what is the structure of an HUF. Okay, when is an HUF formed, or how can you form an HUF? How will you, plan for finances? Yeah, HUF ka capital kaise banaoge? Then you will also plan ke once you have finances planned in HUF, you have the capital. Now, how will you plan investments through HUF? Okay, what are the tax implications and how HUF can help you bring down the tax liability, and also HUF as a strategic tax planning tool. This is a very interactive session. So y'all can, put in Q&A or in chat. Y'all can type questions if you want to ask anything to me and Jayanji. We'll keep it very, very interactive. So as and when we are going through the slides, y'all can keep posing us questions. So with this, welcome Jayanji, and all over to you. You are on mute.
Good morning. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Thank you, Neil ma'am, for introducing me and starting kickoff with tax saving as well as why to pay tax. This is the real concern we all carry. Okay, coming to the HUF. Now we have come across this word every now and then. HUF, whether we should have HUF, whether I have HUF, how do I go about HUF tax planning and all. So we'll try to cover most of the questions here. As you know, HUF is a short form or acronym of Hindu Undivided Family, which is a separate legal entity. And it is allowed under Income Tax Act as a separate entity. Apart from we as an individual or company, we pay tax, HUF is also a separate taxable entity. Unfortunately, it is not defined under Income Tax Act. What is the definition of HUF? So we have to take shelter under Hindu Succession Act or Hindu law, which says, which includes as a Hindu, not only Hindus typically, but all Jains, Buddhists, and Sikhs are also allowed to form an HUF. And this is a group of family members who are descendant of a common male ancestor. I hope it is clear that, HUF means we have father or grandfather, then father, then we, then our children, all become a family. And whatever assets we carry on is a HUF family, Hindu Undivided Family. Next, please. Yeah. So what is the structure? I just started with, somebody who is a senior most or eldest male member who wants to create a HUF, he will become a Karta. Now, what is the role of Karta? He is a manager of Karta as a, in companies we have managing director or partnership, we have managing partners. He is a Karta of HUF who takes all the decisions. And going down, there are family members like son, daughter, and wife. Suppose these are the 4 members you have. So son and daughter are called co-partners, and wife is a member. So there is a difference between co-partners and members. Co-partners are the family members who are, from the same family. Wife is coming from different family. So they have the co-partners have a right to demand share in the HUF and even ask for the partition. But wife would not have this right because they can only entitled to enjoy the benefits of HUF but cannot demand the partition. That is as per Hindu Succession Act.
So, Jayanji, if I were to ask you a question on this, say,
yes.
For example, HUF has assets or net worth of HUF is 100. Okay, and there is a father and there is a son and a daughter who are co-partners, and there is a member who is wife, right? So
Yes.
there are 4 people in the HUF. Now
Yes.
that 100 rupees of asset, what you mean to say that member, wife is only a member, but she does not have any right on the HUF. So does that mean that 100 rupees asset belongs equally between father, son and daughter, or it is 25, 25, 25, 25?
No, the wife has a right to enjoy the benefit. So she is also equal partner. So there are 25% beneficiary in the
Right.
family. She is a 25% beneficiary, but she cannot demand the partition, unlike the
Okay,
co-partners.
got
So
it. Got
she
it.
has no
Okay,
right to
so
demand the partition.
okay,
If she
fine. I
wants to
got it. So
separate, she cannot demand the partition.
basically, if there are 100 rupees of assets in the HUF, tomorrow the son or daughter can say, okay, you give me
Give me my
25.
share.
You give
Yeah.
me my share. So
Yes.
they can demand for their share and they can demand for liquidating of HUF or whatever. They have that right. But as a wife, I can enjoy the 25, but I cannot demand that 25 be given to me. I can use that, but I cannot ask for a partition of the HUF.
Yes.
That is a difference between a co-partner and a member.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
if I have summarized this properly, that is a difference between a co-partner and a member.
yes.
Okay, now my one question is that are everybody having equal like share of the HUF assets? Like for example, if there is father, there are 2 children and there is a wife. And if 100 rupees is the HUF asset, then everybody has an equal share, 25, 25, 25?
Yes, perfect. Including Karta. Including
Karta, everybody has an equal share
Equal
on the
share.
family wealth.
Family wealth,
Right?
yeah.
So it is one way of succession planning where you want to pass on your assets to your family members in an equal way.
Equal,
Right? So all are equal like members. And if something happens to the Karta, then there are 3 people left. Then
yes.
3 of them are 33, 33, 33. Or by
Correct.
default.
It will go on, yeah.
By default, right?
Yes.
Now, in case if the daughter gets married, will she go out of the HUF or will she still have, like, for example, if all 4 are there and the daughter is getting married, so that 25% share in the HUF which daughter has, will it continue or she will be out of the HUF?
Yeah, good question. Till year 2005, daughters were not allowed to be continuing or they were not having right as a co-pastor. They were also only a member. But since year 2005, there is a Supreme Court judgment that daughters can have an equal right as of sons. So she will continue to enjoy that 25%.
Okay,
In
fine.
her family here, as well as she will be a member in his in-laws family. Suppose his in-laws also have a HUF with his husband, her husband, she will be a member there also.
Okay, so a daughter, she say if it's a family of 4, then the daughter has 25% share in the HUF assets. After marriage also, she can continue to hold that 25% share in her father's HUF. But
Correct.
also when she gets married, she can be a member of her husband's HUF also.
Yes.
So she can be one place co-partner and one place a member of the husband's HUF.
So, at 2 places, yeah, correct. She gets 2 properties, right? Yeah, practically.
Okay,
2 family
fine.
property.
Two families, whatever HUF wealth, whatever HUF is holding, she has the right at both the places.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. Okay, fine. So I guess people are also sharing questions, which I will take up. But I guess people are clear about the structure of an HUF, a Karta, co-partners, which are children, and wife, which is a member.
Yes.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. And just for the sake of clarity, this HUF as a family hierarchy can continue up to 4 generations. Now, what do we mean by 4 generation? Yeah, this co-partnery. Thereafter, it becomes only members as per the Hindu Succession Act now. Again, there's a first degree. When we say first degree, who is the promoter or the first karta today? Suppose I am making a HUF today. I am a first degree holder of or either we ancestral property or I will have my own HUF which is created for the first time today. Then my son and daughters will be a second degree. Then third degree will be grandsons and fourth degree will be great grandsons. No daughters thereafter. Am I clear?
Like for example, say if you have formed an HUF, then your son and daughter are like the co-partners. Okay.
Correct.
Then after that, grandsons only. Like
Yes,
then
grandsons.
the daughter is a co-partner, but her children cannot be a part of the HUF.
Right.
After that, the HUF carries with the son.
Yes,
right?
sons,
Like
yeah.
say after like the son and daughter both are co-partners, daughter can enjoy that 25 or 33% or whatever share she has in that HUF.
Yeah.
Say if the mother, father both are not there, then son and daughter have 50-50. So daughter can like she can enjoy that 50%, but her children cannot continue in that HUF.
They cannot demand.
The son's kids will be like a part of HUF, and then even the grandsons, great grandsons can also be. So for 4 generations, an HUF will continue if you have started the HUF.
Yeah. So the third
but only it will continue with the sons after that. Yeah.
The granddaughters will become a member. They will not be a co-partners. The difference is co-partners.
Okay,
Again,
fine.
so first level of daughter is allowed as a co-partner. Second level daughter, after the suppose the son has a grandson and granddaughter. So that granddaughter will be a member.
So she can be a member, but
Yeah.
she is not
Yes.
called as a co-partner. So
Yeah.
she can still use the assets of
Assets.
HUF, but she cannot ask for liquidation of HUF or anything like that. So no rights in terms of liquidation are there, but she can still continue as a member.
Correct. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, if any questions, because this
I
is
think
a
there are
little
few questions.
technical
Yeah.
topic, y'all can just type in the chat. Vandana, if you want to just read some questions and ask Jayantji for this section, like these two things, the structure of the HUF and continuity, if there are any questions, we'll clear this before moving on. You are on mute.
So there are few questions related to NRI. Can NRI be a part of HUF?
Yes, NRI children can be part of HUF. There is no restriction. Even Karta can be NRI. The taxability will be depending on the controls or management of the HUF as per Income Tax Act. So yes, they are allowed as a lineal
And also,
descendants.
okay. And also, can a son's wife will become a co-partner after he gets married?
No. She cannot become a co-partner because they are outsiders for the family. I mean, wives and daughter. I mean, son's wife or daughter-in-law, what we call. They can become only a member.
Okay. What if in case there are two children and husband wife there is HUF and Karta dies and both the children are under age 18?
Okay, so she will be the wife will be a manager of the HUF. She will not be a karta actually. Karta right is not still given as per Hindu Succession Act to the wife, but she can manage the property. And you know, till the children become major, it will the eldest children will become a karta.
So whenever the eldest child becomes 18,
Major.
then he automatically becomes a
Becomes
karta.
karta. Yes.
But if it is husband, wife, and two minor children, and something happens to the husband, then wife can still continue running the HUF, signing for the HUF and all till one of the eldest child becomes a major.
Yeah, it will be manager. It will be designated as manager, not as a karta for all purposes.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Vandana, any more questions?
No. Questions are there, but that can be resolved in the answer. Like I can answer those.
Sure. Okay, fine.
We can continue.
Go to the next.
We can continue, Pranav. Okay. Now the question we all have is how do we form an HUF? This is the question I have been asked by many times by a lot of people. So the thought of putting this, actually the HUF is formed on the date of marriage of a person as per Hindu law. Yeah. So marriage is a primary because that is how we start the family. But for income tax purposes, it is slightly different. I will come to that. But first we start with this marriage, then getting a rubber stamp done, for like so and so. I'm just given an example that okay, for so and so HUF, your name and HUF, and then you write Karta as a signatory. Then you have to apply for a PAN, then open a bank account. And normally bank will ask for declaration or deed of current members and karta. That means we have to give a separate declaration, which now they want signed by each and every member also that yes, he is allowed to be a karta. He is our karta of the family. So it's a common formality, that banks all need and which we have to give. And if you see your name here and HUF karta is a rubber stamp, typically we people make.
Okay, so like how if you are starting a proprietary firm or something, I
Yes.
think it's very similar process where you first need to get your rubber stamp, then you need to apply for a PAN. So for example, if it is your HUF, then it will be Jayant Furia HUF,
Yes.
right? So you have to apply a PAN in the name of Jayant Furia HUF, and the rubber stamp will also be Jayant Furia HUF. Then you have to, so once you have the rubber stamp, you have the PAN, then you have to open a bank account in the name of HUF. And when you are opening the bank account, the bank will either ask you for a HUF deed or they will ask you for a declaration who are the karta, who are the co-partners and who are the members. So basically, basically details about how many people are a part of that HUF. So some kind of a declaration, and some banks may also ask for a deed of HUF deed.
Yes.
Okay,
It varies
fine.
with some banks. Private banks and public banks have different formalities sometimes. So this is what we have to comply with.
Okay, yeah, sure. We'll move to the next slide.
Yeah. Okay. How to finance, plan for capital, or before investment, we need to have a capital, that is financing. So the first route is, if you have any ancestral property, that is better to, put it as a HUF property, because automatically it was for family, it is continued for the family. Instead of transferring into personal name, if you can transfer it into your name, so you will save on a lot of other hassles of reconversion. Then if there is a provision of gifts, now this is with respect to the first time formation. Now, if you are aware of the basic slab limits of income tax, in the old regime, it was 2.5 lakhs, and the new regime, it is 3 lakhs. So if you take a gift from anybody, so up to the limit of 3 lakhs or 2.5 lakhs in the old regime will be tax free for the first year. And actually, going forward, we can also take a gift from members, but there will be a provision of clubbing of the income. Whatever gifts they give as a member, and income is earned from that, it will be clubbed back to the income of the same individual or a member. So it is not advisable to take any gifts, but yes, we can take interest-free loans from the members. That is the best thing. If you have, like, husband, wife are already earning, they can give a loan to the HUF, and that capital is used for something, maybe for buying an asset which can be leased out, or put to use like a business. It become part of the business activity. We can do that. And of course, there is a same thing with transfer of ancestral property, like HUF partition. If you have a father's HUF, and now you want to make a partition as a co-partner, you can demand the partition, and whatever assets coming to you, you can take it in your HUF's name straight away. So that will save on all other stamp duty registration and other activities. Then income from HUF investments, of course, when we have investments from HUF, it will keep on growing. That will help us build up the capital.
Okay, so
So
if I were to just understand and summarize this, say for example, if when someone has got married, they receive a lot of gifts, right?
Yes.
So one way to have that capital in HUF is the gifts which you received from all your family members during your marriage, the bank account which you opened for HUF, you can deposit that in the bank account of HUF. So that is the first way for you to get some capital in HUF. The other way, like you said, okay, if there is any ancestral property, then that ancestral property you can gift it to your HUF, because everybody in your family will automatically become a member, is already a co-partner or a beneficiary of that HUF. So it becomes like a joint property for everyone.
Right.
And also what you said, okay, if there is any ancestral property in your father's HUF, and if it is coming to your HUF, then you don't have to pay any stamp duty or any kind of taxation or anything. So these are certain ways to
Succession,
get assets into HUF, and also to have some capital in HUF. So if you want to have like financial assets in the HUF, then whatever gifts you got in your marriage from your relatives, you can just deposit that money in HUF, and that will become your financial assets. And in case if you have ancestral property, if you gift it to HUF, that will become like a fixed asset or the physical assets of the HUF. Now, my
Right.
question is, say for example, you have an HUF, okay? Like when you got married, by default, your HUF has started. Okay, now you have your father and mother who are alive. Okay, and your wife also has father and mother who are alive. Now they are very old and they want to pass on some wealth to you. Can they give it to your HUF?
No, it will attract gift tax for us.
Okay, so then in that case,
Even my father even if my father giving gift to my HUF will attract gift tax.
so can the father give to you? Give to
Yeah,
you?
he can give to me as a.
So if he gives gift to you, you can give that money to the HUF, right?
Yeah, I can give to the HUF, but then the clubbing of income provision will come. If the
Okay.
income is generated out of that property or asset, I will be taxed in my hand.
Okay. So what you can do is that if you got that money, you can give a loan to the HUF, which
Yes, that is the
is like
best
a
source there.
capital for HUF, and in some time HUF has to give that back to you.
Yes,
But
at
in
some time,
meanwhile,
we can do
HUF
that.
can continue investing or doing whatever with that
Yeah.
money, and then they have to reverse the loan to you.
Yes,
Right?
they are free
Okay.
to use the way they want. Yes.
Okay. There is an important question that can Karta gift his property to HUF, which you said initially,
Yes.
ke
Yeah.
property can be
Technically, yes,
gifted,
we
right?
can gift. We can see Karta is also a member of the HUF, so he can gift. But it will be a clubbing provision. Gift tax will be free. It will not be taxed as a gift, but it will be income will be taxed as a club. It will be
No,
clubbed
like
in
for
Karta Dengata.
example, if there is no income on that property, if it's a family house,
Tax-free income, yes, that
and
is was.
see, if it's a family house and
Yes.
I have gifted that family house in my HUF because I want to continue staying in that house and I want my children also to continue staying, then I gift this house to HUF. I'm
Yes.
not generating any income. So that is allowed, right?
That will be allowed. Yeah, that will be allowed.
Okay.
And here, what I was mentioning was, we are using this as a tool to generate additional income on which we can save taxes. So if that is the objective, that okay, we can do that way also. HUF can get the gift from members, which are tax-free incomes. Suppose there are tax-free incomes, yes, we can do that. Even, there is a capital, initial capital, if invested in, say, equity mutual funds, which are, does not attract immediate tax. It is taxed only when it is sold.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So deferment also
The
possible.
other thing is that, say, if you want to build some income in HUF, so you have loaned some money to HUF, like husband, wife have loaned some money. HUF bought a property out of that money. Now HUF is earning a rental income and they reverse the loan in
Yes.
some time. And then that becomes a set of HUF and which is paying some regular income, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we can move on
Yeah.
to the next slide.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we have, okay. Now, when it comes to investment, there are quite a few options. Like, you can run a business as a proprietor. You can be HUF can be a partner via Karta. It will be Karta will be a partner, but in the name of HUF, we can do that. Then it can be a shareholder in any company. We can invest in mutual funds, buy property and give on lease, rent. And we can its best thing is we have to look at the option of home loan. HUF can become a third co-borrower, I would say, along with husband and wife. That will be beneficial. We will come to that. And of course, in the old regime, we had this ATC benefit of 1,50,000. If we are still following the old regime, then yes, HUF can pay insurance premium for any member, including Karta. Yeah. Then and HUF can pay salary also to any member for the work they do. And HUF can invest in most of the financial assets like individual we do, except the NPS is not allowed. And PPF is also not allowed. HUF can invest in PPF for member, but it cannot open the account in its name. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So basically, it is like I have one PAN which is in my name, then my husband has one PAN. Okay, so now this is a third PAN in our family.
Yes.
Okay, where we can do ATC investments or we can file up to 15 lakh rupees of income tax return, but pay very minimal tax, right?
Yeah.
So this is one more way for us to like have one more PAN, have like 12-15 lakhs of income, but pay a very nominal tax. Because if I get this right, the individual tax slabs, what are there? The same is applicable to HUF also. So
Yes.
for income tax, HUF is equal to an individual, right?
Right.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Yes.
So what I understand is that, say if you have given some capital, like for example, I'm a doctor and I'm just giving like an example. Okay, I have some kind of equipments like a X-ray machine or a sonography machine or something, right? So now I have started a proprietary firm in the name of my HUF. Then as a member of that HUF, both husband wife have gifted some money to the HUF. Now HUF has bought that X-ray machine, or they've bought that sonography machine or something. Now whatever income that machine is generating, that is HUF's income. Up to 15 lakh rupees, if the income is getting generated in HUF, then there is very nominal tax. And
Yes.
after certain time, the HUF is giving the loan back to both of us, and then that asset becomes HUF's asset and it is generating income, right? So
Right.
now, in case if I would have taken that equipment in my name or my spouse's name, and if we are in the highest tax bracket, then we would have on that 15 lakh income paid 35% tax. So we would have paid like 4-5 lakh rupees of taxes. But in this case, because I've planned a certain income from my HUF, so if as a family my wife has 25 lakh income, I have 25 lakh income, then we can have additional 15 lakh in the HUF file, but we will pay nominal taxes.
1.5
Right?
lakh,
So,
practically 10%.
yeah. Yeah, or just a 10% tax. So that is like a huge benefit if it will be there if you plan
Yeah.
like properly in HUF, if I get this right. Okay,
Yes.
and then HUF, like an individual, can make any investments in mutual fund. The HUF can buy property, they can invest in shares, they can invest in fixed deposits. So like an individual, HUF is free to do any kind of investments.
Yes, all financial
Okay,
assets.
and whenever HUF gains on that investment, like an individual, there is a capital gain. So if a HUF is investing money in shares and there is a long-term capital, so then you get 12.5%. And if it's short-term, it is 20%, right? So all that capital gain benefit which you are getting as an individual also you get in HUF.
Yes, just to add, 1,25,000 basic exemption of long-term capital gain also will be, equally divided that, I mean, individually will get only 125, even HUF will get 125 additional benefit.
So double you're getting,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
in a year, if you're
14,
booking a
15,000 rupees you
long-term,
save.
yeah. So if a wife is having a long-term capital of 125, she doesn't have to pay tax. Husband on 125, even HUF up
Yes.
to 1,25,000 long-term capital is no tax. So
Yes.
basically 4.5 lakh rupees of capital gains also I'm not paying tax, plus 15 lakh if I'm filing ITR, then I'm paying a very nominal kind of a tax, just 10% kind of a tax. So
10% tax,
there is a very big advantage for people if they actually start thinking about HUF in a very serious manner. So they have one more income tax file. They can file like higher returns, pay very less tax, and then there are capital gains benefit and other benefits like an individual, one more third file where you're getting all that benefits.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So really good. Yeah, we can move on to the next slide.
Yeah, we just covered it. Basically it is taxed as individual. Right now we have covered. Only difference is, if there is a income in case of new regime, suppose there is a relief of under section 87A about 25,000, which we say about 7 lakh rupees. You are not paying any income tax as an individual because of the relief we are getting under section 87A, which is not available to HUF. That is the one difference you have to remember always. If their income is just 7 lakhs, then you have to pay tax as per the slab. 3 lakhs plus on 7 lakhs, whatever tax comes, 5% tax. Between on 4 lakhs, 20,000 will be paying. Yeah. Then and remaining all remain same in old regime. Just we covered that LIC and all we can pay the deduction. Even home loan principal repayment we can claim the deduction. And then for the interest also on home loan we can claim the deduction as we get in individual. Of course, this is withdrawn for self-occupied properties for both HUFs or individual. This is no more available on self-occupied property. The 2 lakhs rupees what we were getting as a reduction as a home loan interest is now withdrawn from new last year. Same we have covered. We can suppose there is a capital gains on sale of properties, long-term capital gain, and you want to invest in properties, you can do that. Which are the under section 54B, C, D. All the sections are available. And one more thing which I would like to highlight is, you have to plan 50,000 rupees gift every year. You can take in HUF, which is exempt. There is no gift tax on that 50,000. Of course, you have to prove the bona fide of the who is the donor of gift, who is giving the gift.
So this is the point which I was asking you. Okay,
Yeah.
your parents and your spouse's parents up to 50,000
Yes.
every year.
Yeah,
They can gift in your HUF without
Yes.
any tax. So
Yes.
every year 2 lakhs can come in HUF.
No.
Without.
No, only it's a gift tax is on the receiver now. So only 50,000 I can accept. Beyond
Okay,
50,000.
50,000 every year I can take
Yes.
from
The
Mark
moment
the
it,
parents in HUF.
yeah,
Okay.
the moment it goes 51,000, I will have to pay tax of on 51,000. So exemption also goes. So you have
Okay,
to
so
be
up to
careful.
50,000
Yes,
every year you can take. So initially, whatever you took, that this was the gift in your marriage. After that, every year also you can take 50,000 in
50,000
your
rupees. Yeah.
HUF.
Because
Okay.
gift tax is on the receiver, not on the giver. So my
Okay.
limit is 50,000 only.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there
But
will
say
be
if
two
your
questions.
limit is 50,000, then
Mhm.
you individually can take 50, your wife can take 50, and your
Yeah.
HUF can also take
So
50.
everybody,
Na?
everybody, family
So
members. Yeah.
everyone will, so 1.5 lakhs, three of y'all can take as a gift without any taxation.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yes.
with HUF, one more entity also becomes where you can take that 50K.
Yes, true, very true. So this is additional entity for 50,000 rupees. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
normally
Okay.
we forget. Normally we don't do this 50,000 rupees gift because it's a small amount then in overall picture.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, I think there are a few questions in between.
Yeah. So, one very valid question is that doctors are not allowed to do any business as per the medical council regulations. So, what business can be done to generate income for HUF? So, I think we
See,
answered that, but you can clarify it
yeah,
once
yeah.
again.
See, from the doctor's perspective, I would say if you can open a chemist shop, medical shop. Yeah.
Or like we discussed, there are certain equipments
Yes,
on which
equipment.
their equipments, that equipments can be bought, right?
Yeah.
Say,
If
for example, if there is a loan you have given to HUF and HUF has bought a property. Okay, now that property, may you are running your hospital or your OPD clinic or something, then you can also pay rent to that HUF, right?
yes, and not only that, HUF can be a partner. It can create a real estate business if you want to. Any business HUF can create. It is different from the doctor personally.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
fine.
it's for the family. As a karta, I can do any business, but as a doctor professional, I may be restricted. But as a karta of HUF, I am allowed to do any business, whatever business I like. Any trading business I can do. Export import I can do. Whatever is my passion, I can do. Yeah.
Okay, fine. And one more question is HUF not allowed to become a partner in LLP or partnership firm? It is not like that, right? HUF
True
can
karta.
become a,
HUF becomes, the agreement wordings are like they are allowed via karta. In partnership, it is allowed.
in partnership, it is allowed, right?
LLP
So
is not.
HUF can become a partner in a partnership firm.
Yeah.
So for example, if there is a kind of a business which I'm starting or whatever, hospital I'm starting in partnership. So husband, wife, both are doctors, then the third partner can be the HUF also.
Yes, definitely.
Right? So automatically certain income is going in HUF.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Basically, interest. Yeah, interest part and the share of net profit, which is going there. Yeah.
Then someone is asking, can I transfer money into my own HUF, but not as a loan, but as an initial capital?
Yes, you can do. There is no gift tax, but then it will be covered under clubbing of income. Whatever income that HUF generates, on that you will be paying tax. If it is a tax-free, kind of a investment we do, then it is okay.
Fine. Yeah, we'll move on, and then there are many questions. So we will take up those questions. And I think Vandana, unique questions you can shortlist and then we'll ask those questions. Yeah.
We continue.
Yes, we
So,
continue.
okay. So, how do just we have spoken about the tax benefits, how it works. So we have taken one simple example. There are Mr. A and B having similar income from say salary and the rent from property. Both of them having salary income of 30 lakhs rupees and 10 lakh rupees coming as a rent. And we all know 30% is allowed as a deduction from the rental income as a standard deduction, we call it 24A. So that becomes 10 lakhs become less 3 lakhs. So 7 lakhs is the net income of rent. So 30 plus 7 is 37 lakhs is the income. Now, what happens when Mr. A does not have any HUF? So he is paying tax on 37 lakh rupees and total tax comes to 8 lakh 32,000 rupees. Now, in case of Mr. B, he has his own HUF and he has the property in his HUF name. So what happens that 10 lakhs rupees income is separate from his personal income. So automatically that 7 lakhs rupees is taxed at lower rate, which is 10,400 rupees tax. And 30 lakhs rupees, which is normal tax, normal income for him is 6 lakhs 13,000. So total 613 plus 10,000 becomes 6,24,000. So there is a net saving of 2,08,000 rupees, which is coming to Mr. B. Though Mr. A and B both are having 30 plus 10, 40, but Mr. A ends up paying 8,32,000 and Mr. B pays only 6,24,000 totally out of his pocket.
Just because B has planned to get certain part of his income in his HUF.
Yes.
And because of which the overall tax liability is down. Like on 8 lakh, you're saving 2 lakh tax. So percentage tax saved is very high.
25%.
Yeah.
More than that. 25% approach, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, 25% you're saving in taxes, and not 1 year, every year.
Every year on year.
Year on year, there is such a huge difference in some time.
Yeah. Here we have not considered this again, as we discuss about the 1,25,000 capital gains. If there is a capital gain, that also adds 15,000 rupees every year.
Right.
Yeah.
Like for example, with that 10 lakh rupees of income, if the HUF would have invested in equity, and if there was a long-term capital gain of 1,25,000, again on that there is no tax which HUF will have to pay, right? So again, that is a benefit which HUF will have. Plus 50,000 of gift you can take in HUF. So HUF's capital will keep on going up.
Yeah. I mean, this is now, since we have taken new regime, most of the people are following in new regime because more than 15 lakhs income, perhaps this would be the best option. So Pranav, I think we have the next slide, which is old tax regime. If you want to just run through. Similarly, old regime, same benefit, but tax, because of difference in tax structure last year, it was like 1,95,000. So still it is a beneficial in last old regime also it is a beneficial.
So whether the person is in a new tax regime or in the old tax regime, overall there is a good benefit.
2 lakh rupees about,
about approximately 2 lakhs a year. Like if you have just managed to plan some income in HUF.
Yes.
Jayanti, if this income instead of 10 lakh, if it was 15 lakh in HUF, still the tax will be a little higher only. But imagine the person's family income filed returns will go so high, like 30 lakh, like 40 lakh in say Mr. A's name, 30 in B, and HUF 15. So overall, the return file will be higher, but the tax will be much lower.
Net tax will be much lower, yeah. Definitely, there will be 10% saving. Again, 5 lakhs of 50,000 would have been saved. 30% tax bracket and 20% tax bracket if it is 15 lakhs.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Then one question is like this futures and options how it is treated in the HUF. What are the tax implications for FNO trading from HUF demat account?
FNO is like treated as a business income. It is a business income.
Same like individual. In individual also, FNO is treated like a business income.
Yes, it is business income. Yes. Both ways it is business income. It doesn't change the color because of the status. Yeah.
Okay.
Can we also look at some calculations? Like if there is one individual who is earning around, like, let's say I'm earning 40 lakhs per annum, and 15 lakhs is the income which I'm getting from like additional income. Can I, if I diversify it in HUF, what will be the benefit?
Okay. Pranav,
in the amount, if we can discuss.
Pranav, we have one income tax calculator file. If you can share that, I will just run through that. Yeah. If you can locate. Okay. See, this is a basic slab rates. Row number 4.
Can you just expand? It is very small. Like, can you
make it
little screen size? Yeah.
Just
this is better.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So this is simple Excel calculator of income tax just we have created. And if you see the B8 15 lakhs, which is highlighted yellow, yeah, up to 15 lakhs, we are paying 20% slab rate plus 4% education tax, which is 20.8% is a net tax. Okay. So total tax amount comes to 1,45,000 at the last. 1,45,600. Next column, yeah, H column. This is slab wise tax, which is somewhat added, and this is total tax on 15 lakhs rupees, which we were mentioning 10%, about 10%. So on 15 lakhs, you are paying 1,45,000, which is still less than 10%. But we, for the sake of clarity, we were making 10%. So 1,45,000 is a tax rate. Yeah, just come down. See here, suppose an individual is diverting this 15 lakhs rupees, who was already having 30 lakhs plus 15 lakhs income. So on 15 lakhs, he would have paid 30 plus, there is a tax of 30 plus 10 plus 4, 31.20%. 31.20% on 15 lakhs becomes 4,68,000. If you just put the cursor here. Yeah. So on, suppose that income is diverted to HUF, he will be paying 1,45,600. So there is a net saving of 3,22,000 just by diverting 15 lakhs rupees from personal income to HUF income. You are saving
Okay.
3,22,000.
That you're saving 3,22,000, and to this you add that long-term capital gain tax
Again,
plus
15,000
other
will become-
benefits. That is all additional.
Yes.
Okay,
Correct.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the message is very clear that we don't need to not pay tax on that 15 lakh rupees and have that money in cash or something. You can plan it in a separate file, which is HUF. If you would have taken that income in your name, can we go back to that sheet?
Yeah.
Can we go to that sheet once again? So if you would have taken that income, additional income, like above 15 lakh, if you're having additional 15 lakh income, if you would have taken that income in your name, the tax would be 4,68,000. But that 15 lakh income, if you planned in HUF, the tax will be only 1,45,000. So 3,22,000 a year for many years. So you can see how much tax saving you can have. And when I invest that 3 lakh rupees at a 15% compounding return, imagine that 3 lakh doubles in to 6 lakh in 5 years. Then the second year 3 lakh. So imagine, I think someone who's good in Excel can actually do this working कि अगर 3 लाख टैक्स में बचते हैं और वो 3 लाख आप 15% कंपाउंडिंग पे इन्वेस्ट करते हो तो 15-20 इयर्स में वो अमाउंट कितना हो जाता है. ऐसे लगता है छोटा है, सिर्फ 3 लाख की टैक्स बच रहा है. बट व्हेन यू सेव एंड यू इन्वेस्ट, then you see in 20 years what it happens. It will be like very big number. So I think someone if can do this working quickly, it will be very insightful. Okay, 3,20,000 compounding at 15%. What will it be after 10, 15, 20 years? If we can just see that, बहुत बड़ा number हो जाएगा.
And this will be year on year. Actually, this will be adding
Exactly.
every year.
So this 3,22,000 is not every.
Yeah.
3 lakh every year.
It's like
For
SIP.
15, 20
Every year
years, and
SIP.
that compounding at 15%.
Yes.
Someone good at Excel quickly do this. It will be very interesting to see ki how much it will add to your wealth. Like HUF ki wealth kitni badhti hai in some year, and that is a complete family wealth. So every member is equally entitled to that money. So I think Vandana, if you can just do this working, okay, 3 lakh rupees year 1 से year 20 हम हर साल इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, growing at a 15% compounding. तो अगर future value हम निकाल सकते हैं, I think it will be very big.
Yeah, so can you just do that? Pranav is equal to future value.
Y'all can do it. We'll move on with the presentation and we'll come back to
Yes.
this. Yes. Yeah. Can we just
So
go back?
I also have like there are a few queries repeating that if a karta or any co-partner or member keep transferring money to HUF account, what will be the implication? And if a karta can transfer shares to HUF names, so what will be the implication? So as you said that there will be clubbing of income. But
Yes.
how practical? Like, can you throw some light on this particular question because we are getting it again and again?
Okay. See, suppose I transfer 10 lakh rupees to my HUF. Yeah. Though it's a little cumbersome, it is difficult to link it, but on 10 lakh rupees, whatever income is generated by my HUF in investment, yeah. So that investment income will be treated as my own income, not as HUF income. So HUF will not pay tax on it, but it will come back to me as my income. That is the, clubbing provision.
But in that case, let's say from my I am earning through salary. From my account, I am every month transferring some 20,000, 30,000 rupees to the HUF account. So
Okay.
whatever is there about 50,000 rupees, I guess, will be taxed in HUF, right?
No. See, that's what. Suppose we are transferring as a loan, there is no issue of clubbing, no issue of gift tax.
Okay.
So we have to continue to show as a loan which will be returned after generating income in the HUF. So HUF will start investing it, it will generate income. After some years, it will start repaying you back.
Okay. So it's better to always show it as a loan.
Loan, yeah. It's
Yeah,
always better
okay.
to show as a loan. Otherwise,
Understood.
clubbing provision are little cumbersome to do and to keep a track of which is what invested, where invested. It becomes its own task. But we have to do because income tax will ask you that okay, where it is invested, how it is linked, or we have to prove it.
Yeah, okay. And also many people are asking that what if we start receiving salary or our professional income in HUF name? Is it possible? There is one question which is asking, can I get my income from any one hospital out of 3-4 hospitals into HUF account? Is it possible?
See, hospital, as I said, hospital, is it a business? Suppose, can it become a partner? HUF can become a partner. So that much part you can take it out. But otherwise, no. Your income as a professional directly, it will not be
Yeah,
allowed to be
like
changed.
I will say कि doctor
Yes.
fees or that OPD fees you cannot take. But if you have hospital, then the bed rental charges
Yes.
or other all income which the hospital generates, that can still be taken in the HUF, right? If the
Even HUF
HUF
can
is
be.
like one of the partners or something in the hospital.
So can we say that anything related to personal intellect cannot be taken in HUF name because there are
Yes.
many person involved in HUF can't be done. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
exactly summarized. Personal intellect income cannot be changed. Yeah, it cannot be changed. But general,
But a hospital is different from the doctor's professional income, right?
yeah.
So if you
Yes.
plan an income, के hospital income is separate and your professional fees as doctor is separate, then the
Yes.
hospital's income you can plan in the HUF, which is
Correct.
different from your income as a professional fees,
Yeah.
right? Someone was asking that can like again salary be taken in HUF? So that is not allowed. Salary cannot be taken in HUF because it's an intellectual income, like what Vandana was also pointing to.
Yeah.
Pranav, is that calculation done? Future value of that 3 lakh?
One question is there, कि if the
Yes.
HUF is formed when a person is married, then how they will add the name of the children when the children are born?
So that is a declaration. This is a self-declaration which we have to give. And now our members, I mean, there is a change in the family. So we can give the declaration to the bank anytime.
We have to give the declaration to bank that now kids are born and these are also now the co-partners of the HUF.
Yes.
So
Yes.
with one declaration, we can update
Yes.
our HUF.
Yeah, this is how it is to be done.
Okay, fine.
There is no legal binding, but it's better to do. I mean, I will really, I'm happy that question came. People are normally not doing this, but it's good to do. When we are expanding the family, it's better to have this on record on the bank. So something goes wrong with the top, then yeah, there are the co-partners which are the juniors can take care. Oh, 1 crore.
Okay. Okay, fine. So I guess that number I can see on the screen. Jayanji, you
Yeah.
want to just like tell the benefit. So what if you can see on the screen, okay, someone has formed an HUF and they are saving that 3 lakh rupees every year. What is the time period taken? 15 years or what? Or 25 years? What is the time period taken?
25.
25 years. Okay, so 3 lakh rupees they are saving every year in taxes. And if they are investing that 3 lakh rupees, which is compounding at 15%, then in 25 years, about 1 crore approximately gets added in the HUF wealth, which belongs to all the family members. So you're not saving just today's 3 lakh of tax, but you are creating an asset of 1 crore plus by saving that 3 lakh rupees taxes.
So
Can
there
we...
is one question.
Yeah.
What documentation is required for giving interest-free loan to HUF?
There is no loan, but it's a simple paper. It's like there is no legal requirement, but we can record it as a MOU that I'm giving you this loan to be returned in so and so. It is interest free, which is our mutual understanding. We can put whatever way we want. It is a standard format. I mean, There is no legal binding contract or anything.
Also, there was one question
can
that
give
what
draft.
if the deed is lost, deed is missing? So can the deed be made for the current date?
Yes, as I said, it's not a legal document as such. It is just a paper which is given to the bank, which can be changed anytime. It's not a registered
Okay.
document anyway.
Okay. There's a question that someone can share this Excel and the PPT. So we will be posting a link in the chat. Like that we have one group where we update about a WhatsApp group where we update about every Wednesday what events we have, or what kind of like we come up with different topics on personal finance, business finance, and all. So Wednesdays we have this Wednesday meets, like weekly Wednesday meets, and once or twice a month on Sunday, we have little long formats of webinar where we are doing topics which take little time. So we are posting the link in the chat. You all can join that WhatsApp group. There we will be posting a blog which we have where whatever we are talking in the presentation today, it is summarized in the blog. Plus, lot of people ask us, okay, we want the format of HUF deed, then how, what documents and all. So please be a part of that group. We will be posting a sample copy of like the HUF deed, and how the steps to form HUF and all that. And like if anybody wants personal consultation also to form HUF, forming HUF is very easy. How to plan income in HUF and then how to make that investments and file the returns, that is where the help will be required. So y'all can like reach out. Jain Furia, who's doing this presentation, he's a chartered
Yes.
accountant. He's with us and that's what he specializes on. Overall tax structuring. HUF is one way of it, but there are many other ways apart from HUF also, where you all can just structure your income to bring down the tax liability. If you save tax, you file more white income, save tax, and that tax, if you invest, like I told you, the future value of that money becomes very high. Okay, so I guess today we just did one part, which was on HUF, which is one of the tools to file higher return and save tax. But in the subsequent Wednesdays, like 2 or 3 Wednesdays after this, after Diwali, we will again do one session where how if you have income of 50 lakh, 1 crore, 3 crore, 5 crore, then how with tax restructuring, you can bring down that tax liability, but you can still file a high return, but bring down. So in subsequent sessions, we will do a general tax restructuring session. Today, it was more focused on HUF because HUF is something which everybody can do. Everybody, people were asking only Hindus are allowed to do. So we clarified in the first slide that Hindus include Jain, it include Buddhist, it include Sikh, it include every Hindu, So it's a broad, any Hindu, when he gets married, by default his HUF is started. Okay, then he has to finish other formalities. So I guess we tried our best to really a lot of questions. I've been getting over 20 years on HUF and people have a lot of myths about HUF. So we tried to clarify, but this is also a vast subject. So we tried our best in 1 hour to just explain you all as much. There are a lot of questions. Vandana, you want to take some more questions still before we end the session? And please share your experience about the webinar. Please rate us because this helps us come up with new topics and improve every week. The link which we have posted for people to join our WhatsApp group where we keep putting, information about all our sessions. You can forward that to your friends and family because all our sessions are purely educative. And for people who have attended our previous sessions, you all would have known the whole idea is to simplify something and make it very practical, data driven, which you all can implement immediately. Okay, that is what the objectives of our webinars are. So you all can take that link, forward it to your friends and family. The more people benefit out of this sessions, the good it is for everyone. So
I think,
questions, can we
ma'am,
take questions?
there are some FAQs also in the PPT only, so we can take that. It will answer
Sure.
most of
Can
the
we go to
queries.
the FAQs? Yes. Can we go to the FAQs quickly? We will take the FAQs. Pranav, can we go to the slide of FAQs? Yeah. So yeah, Vandana, you want to take up the questions?
The first question is, can an adopted child become a co-parson of the HUF?
No, adopted child will not become a co-partner. He will be a member
Okay.
always.
Can we
Yeah.
see the next question, Pranav? Can daughters become Karta of the HUF?
Yes, post 2005, daughters have equal rights as a co-partner, so they can become a karta also if there is no male member. If there is no male member in the family.
Okay. Can HUF take a home loan?
Yes, HUF can take a home loan. They can take its own name if there is some banks are giving, or they can be a co-borrower like with husband or wife or anybody. They can be a co-borrower and take a home loan. Many banks are allowing.
Great.
Of course, they will have some extra documentation set, but they allow.
Okay. Next question, Pranav. Can wives or daughter-in-law become a Karta?
No. As we just explained, they are not allowed to become co-partners, so they cannot become a karta.
Okay. Also next question. How is HUF created via marriage?
Okay, as per Hindu Succession Act, uh, any family is created just on the date of marriage of a male member of the family. So for the Hindu Succession Act, your HUF is created. And yes, this is a good question which we started with and we said we'll address it later on. So, but for Income Tax Act to have effective HUF for tax benefits, you have to have two co-partners. So in first case, when you are yourself and your wife, though you are a Hindu undivided family, you take the benefit of ancestral properties, but it will be issue. I mean, it will not be for a tax purposes. It will be you as a co-partner, the single person. So all income will be clubbed as income of that male member till he has another co-partner in his family. So better whenever there is a children, it's automatically co-partner is there in the form of either male or female child. So automatically this clubbing provision goes away. So it's good for the people or the families who have children to start with the HUF. Yeah.
There is one question which says, will I have to register a... Okay, so we have one more FAQ. How many minimum co-partners must a HUF have?
Yeah, we have just said minimum two. Minimum two
Okay.
co-partners are required.
And also, what can be implication to existing HUF if Hindu Succession Act is substituted by Uniform Civil Code by
Civil code.
government?
It all depends. What are the wordings of that? Is it too early to say or comment on that? Whatever the wordings come, but looking at the perhaps it will be similar. There will not be much change. They will not abolish it. I mean, that's what I feel.
Also,
We'll keep our
Someone is
fingers crossed.
asking, can a Bengali family have an HUF?
Huh? No,
Bengali family?
Bengal is not forming they are not allowed. Bengal.
People in Bengal, but if some Bengali is living in Mumbai,
No,
then it is allowed?
because he will be following his religion there, no? Bengal Act. Even Kerala is not allowed.
So fine, people living in Kerala, but if they're living in Mumbai,
No,
then they are Hindus, right?
they are Hindus.
So Bengalis are also Hindus and Keralites are also
Okay,
Hindus,
okay,
right?
I misunderstood. Bengalis means Bengali speaking, you mean?
Yeah, Bengali speaking, I mean.
Okay. I doubt they will not be allowed because they are governed by their separate Bengal law.
No, but then if they're staying in Bengal, now, if they're staying in Mumbai, then?
No, I think we need to correct the
But
check.
in Hindu definition, Keralite or Bengalis are all Hindus, right?
Yes, but people living there are governed by their local laws.
Not people living there, but
Yeah.
if Keralite is living in Mumbai or they're living in Bengalis living in Mumbai, then
I think
they will
state
be
will be
covered
allowed.
under the Hindu Act, right?
Yeah,
Then the state will not be applicable because they're not in that state, right?
correct. But the property in that state may be a question. So we have to test the case because I've not come across this, so I've not really tested it. But in the
Okay,
property
fine.
lying there could be a question.
Property lying there, but if properties are in Mumbai,
so we have to see in totality, then only
okay,
it will be better.
fine. So I think we should get back with clarification, particularly because some people are asking that.
Yeah, so then we have to
Now,
have facts about the properties. Yeah.
Yes, and also can we put nominee to HUF investments?
Yes.
But a nominee is just the person who will hold the money till it will go to beneficiary. And in
Right.
HUF investments, every member is a beneficiary, equal, right?
Equal, right?
So,
Yeah.
so nominee is just the person who will take, who will take that investments and pass it on to the beneficiaries. And in HUF, the beneficiaries are always all the members of the HUF,
Correct.
equal, right? And can Karta of a HUF create a will?
On his personal, yes, not on the properties of the HUF.
Because it is perpetual
Equally,
entity, right?
perpetual
HUF is
entity, yeah.
perpetual entity. So a Karta can have his own will, but
Yes.
HUF, if something happens to the Karta, the asset is
Next,
equally divided between whoever are the members of the
or
HUF.
the next member, next male member
Yeah.
become the Karta.
So HUF basically is like a perpetual
Continuity.
entity. So
Yes.
all that is not a problem.
Not a
What is a
problem.
limit of loan which can be given to HUF? What happens to my income after lending money to HUF?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
What is the limit of loan which can be given to the HUF, and what happens to my income after lending money to HUF?
There is practically no limit. It is up to us. We have to decide. There is
Okay,
no
so
law
there is
which
no
goes.
restriction of what loan you can
Yeah.
give to the HUF.
No.
And then they're saying what happens to my income after lending money to HUF. So what they would be meaning is if HUF on that money is generating income, then it
Yes.
is HUF's income, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
up to 15 lakh, it is like an individual where we said ki 1.5 lakh tax has to be paid. Because you have given a loan, it is not treated as your income, right? It is a
Correct.
HUF
Yeah.
income.
That income is taxed in the hands of HUF, not in your hand. So it is basically beneficial for that way.
Okay, someone is asking that for giving gift to HUF, is it just NEFT transfer or any way to declare anywhere? Like what is a way to give gift to HUF? Like even on marriage, if we got some cash gifts, one time we can deposit that in HUF, right? And after
Yes.
that 50,000 annually, we can take a gift.
Simple declaration.
NEFT transfer is also okay, right?
Yeah. Simple declaration. I'm giving out of my love and affection towards gift to this HUF. It's a simple draft. We can give that. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Is the HUF wealth ring fenced?
Sorry.
Is the HUF wealth ring fenced? Like protected against any medical legal issues or anything?
It is a separate entity. So it is separate entity.
It is a separate entity. It is a family wealth. So if there is any personal liability of the Karta or anything, then HUF assets cannot be attached. So HUF wealth is always ring fenced. It's a very good tool. It's a very good succession planning tool. And like if there are medical practitioners and there's a medical legal like risk, so whatever is in HUF, that is ring fenced. Because that is not doctor's personal wealth. It is a family wealth, so it cannot be attached.
Yeah, it cannot be attached.
Then can HUF invest in mutual fund and shares? Yes. HUF is free to invest in real estate, all 4 assets: real estate, fixed income, equity, gold, silver, everything, bullions, anything, right?
Yeah.
All that is allowed. So I'm just quickly taking questions. What if the father and son are HUF holders? That is allowed, right? Father and son, both will be, because
both are co-partners.
Both are co-partners of the HUF.
Yeah.
Even other Hindus living in Kerala can't have HUF, but Keralites living in other state can have, because HUF, it's state law. In Kerala prohibits HUF and not religion inhibition. So what point we were mentioning? I think the same point, that if you are over there, there is a restriction. But if you're living in Mumbai and you have assets in Mumbai or in any other place, if that, so as a Hindu, you can have your HUF.
Yes, HUF,
right? If you're living not in this
Mumbai,
states where it is not allowed, then it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. And someone, more questions are there. Multiple HUF in multiple bank account possible? No, not possible.
Not possible.
It can only, you can have only one PAN of HUF. But with that one PAN card of HUF, you can have 2-3 bank accounts. But you cannot have 2-3 HUFs. HUF is only one.
With the same family, yes, but your son can have his own family HUF. Father, grandfather would have. That way it is possible.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I think most of the questions we've taken. There are certain questions specifically from Kolkata, and certain state related. So I think that we will just
we'll summarize it and we'll
separately Like we've noted down those, and we will definitely reply via an email on that. And even some more questions are there on the father-son thing. One second, I'll just read that. If Karta dies before the loan is paid back by HUF, what happens?
No, the next person in line will be Karta, right? So HUF perpetuity is there.
Okay.
It's
If
like a company.
father has HUF and son has one, both are co-partners in each other.
No, they
No,
cannot be in
son's
both.
HUF, father is not a
Cannot be there.
co-partner.
Cannot be co-partner.
In
Yeah.
father's HUF, father
Son will
is
be
a
there.
co-partner, son is a co-partner. But in son's HUF, his
His
children,
family. Yeah.
his family are co-partners. The parents are
Yeah.
not co-partners. So
Not
father is not a co-partner.
Yeah, no, God, not a
Okay,
co-partner.
fine. Yeah. ठीक है. Can grandsons, daughters become co-partner of HUF?
Grandson's daughter, no. She will be a member.
Okay, grandson's daughter will be a member, but not a co-partner. Okay, fine. I guess most of the questions, someone repeat my question. I'll register a firm to do any business from my HUF. Can I do without registration?
Sorry, I didn't. What was the
Yeah,
question?
what is the question? We didn't understand that actually. I'm again repeating the question. If I got this, will I have to register a firm to do any business from my HUF, or I can do without registration?
No, you have to register if it is falling under GST. If you mean, I don't know whether it means GST law or other law.
No, what he would be meaning, he wants to generate some small income in HUF. So can he do that without registering a
44 AD.
proprietary firm or anything?
Yeah. He can do
Without that,
44
also
AD.
small income he can take na,
Yeah,
in
44
HUF.
AD he can do any business without registration. Yeah, up to 20 lakhs of gross receipts he can do 44 AD.
Right. Fine.
HUF
Okay.
can do.
Yes. Can HUF own medical shop? Yes, we have answered this question. HUF can own medical shop.
Yes.
And HUF can also have equipments, in like, say, for example, if it's a doctor, then certain machinery, sonography, X-ray, all that can be there. And if it's a businessman, then certain machines in the factory or something, HUF can buy and they can lease to your business and earn a rental income. Like sometimes some people take car in the HUF's name and then they are showing that the car has been leased and you're paying a lease to the HUF for the car of HUF which you're using, right?
It's any kind of business.
That kind of a planning also people can do, in HUF. Like that way income can be planned and appreciation of the vehicle and all can be taken in the HUF. So I think someone said it was not a complete session because this is such a vast topic. We tried our best to cover most of it. If you feel this is a topic which requires one more session, then please you all can reach out to us. We will see if we can do one more session on this topic itself. We tried our best today. I think we exceeded our time. I think some people are raising their hands. So is it possible, Pranav, if we can unmute them and they can just ask or talk fast? I think Mr. Rajkumar Toshniwal has certain questions. If you can unmute and he can ask questions, then it will be faster. Yeah, we will sure. I think people are asking that we need one more session on HUF. So we will think about this and come back when we can do. If the son is NRI, can he be Karta?
Yes, there is no restriction.
Okay, even NRI son can be a Karta. Okay, fine.
Taxability will be we have to see the taxability is a different story, but it is NRI taxation or local taxation. It all depends on the control and management.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think if you can unmute if someone wants to just directly ask questions, if we missed something. I think there are 2-3 hands. We can start with Mr. Rajkumar.
Yeah, I have unmuted.
Thank you very much. Very nice presentation. Always Finnovate gives very good insight in the things and start our brainstorming. It is always, and we can see so much we can do. Actually, we are not doing anything. Thank you very much. I have one question. As a Karta, if I am having 2-3 properties, how can I transfer one of the property in the HUF and get the income in that HUF? Is it possible? And regarding again the same regarding the mutual fund or shares, please have an insight.
Okay, sir. Coming to the property, there are 2 ways you can do. One is normal sale deed. Therefore, then you have to follow the capital gains in your hand and the gift Gift again, the
Okay.
same thing. Yeah, the taxes will be following you immediately. So we have to weigh what is the best benefit, whether the paying say 5% stamp duty in Maharashtra, what is the value, and what the benefit what we'll be getting from renting it for years on years.
Okay,
And
sir.
how much tax you are saving. So we have to take real case study and we can work out, and this is what we really help people to, plan the taxation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Regarding mutual fund and shares.
Yeah, same thing. So similar way, right? There is a capital gain tax. Now that why would you do transfer will be only to generate capital in HUF.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's either you do this way or which is expensive way, but it's a 12.5% capital gain tax. Long term, I presume it is long term.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you bring the capital and you invest in which is earning more, or it all depends again. How do you plan your investment from the HUF then?
Right, sir. Right, sir.
We have to weigh both sides.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think
Thank you.
some very good questions have come. That can a son open a new HUF? So when the son gets married, automatically his HUF also gets formed. Then can we gift shares from HUF to co-partners? So I think HUF's wealth is equal for all
Equal divide.
co-partners, right? So HUF can actually distribute that wealth to the co-partners. That is not a
Yeah.
problem at all.
That
That
is
is allowed.
actually tax planning tool, really, going
Yeah,
forward.
it is a tax planning tool. Yeah, exactly. And what way can we spend from HUF? So HUF can spend
kind of
for the
expenses.
benefit of all members. Like you can pay your children's education fees or insurance premium, or if the family is traveling, then the travel expenses, all that, right? So
Wedding, yeah.
HUF can spend for all the family members. And if there is a wedding of children, HUF can spend for that also, right?
Yes.
So there are a lot of ways where HUF can spend for their children, right?
Yes.
Someone is asking how to dissolve HUF. I think that is
Yeah.
also a very important question.
Yes, there is a process. We have to follow the process of income tax. We have to declare or send a letter to the assessing officer. If you're talking from the income tax point of view, then there's a partition. We have to sign a partition deed. These assets are being allocated to the all co-partners and members equally. So that separation deed we have to prepare. And from the income tax point of view, we have to send this detail to income tax officer and then get it processed.
So
It will take its
basically,
own time.
whenever we dissolve the HUF, whatever is the wealth of HUF, it is equally divided between
Yes.
all the members.
All members.
Right? All members, it is equally divided.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, fine. I think some other, if you can unmute someone else, I think there is Dr. Arvind and Mr. Gopal also, and I think Manisha. So can you unmute Manisha Shah?
Have given the
I
right.
my question already got answered. Sorry, I didn't lower my.
Okay, fine. So the question is answered. Dr. Arvind, can we unmute? And Mr. Gopal also, because from when I think they've raised their hands. I think we should call this day because I guess we can see them, but I don't know whether they are there or not there. Okay, I guess we'll have to do one more session, JNG.
Yes.
What we'll do is that we'll plan one more session on HUF. We'll quickly recap this presentation once again. And that day we will only do Q&A. And I think if you can post one email ID or something where people can share us all the questions which they have before the session. So we will only answer all the questions which people are asking us today. I think it was phenomenal questions what we got from the audience. Even we have not got across so many questions. So I guess it was really nice on everyone's part to come up with so many questions. And we have put our email ID. You all can ask as many questions as you all want. We will repeat this session. We'll quickly recap today's presentation and then we will only do the Q&A. So you all can please send us as many questions because the topic is so vast that it's not possible to cover everything in one session.
And there will be practical questions from each person, different questions. So it will be
Exactly.
a challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah, and then we have to cover that point of Calcutta and Kerala also.
Yes,
So,
that's good. That is what I have noted
so
down.
that
I
also
need
we have
to
to
yeah,
cover.
dive through this. Yeah, I'll try to work out
Yes.
on this. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Fine. So,
Yeah.
wishing you all like a good night. And thank you so much for being a part of this. And actually, we didn't realize it's 10:30 in the night. So, once again, thanks to everyone for all their time, and thanks Jayanji. I
Yeah.
think
Thank
it
you so
was
much.
very, very insightful.
Yeah. Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Vandana.
Thank you all
And
for
also,
taking part.
yeah, Pranav, Sakshi, everyone,
Yeah.
to
Pranav, Sakshi,
really
Nina
like.
also. Yeah. Thank you.